majority of 142 seats. And they have control of over 8 states at the moment. So I don't think that BN is dead, and it's not in our interest to see that BN is dead. It's in our interest to see that BN is reformed so that it will not be a coalition of race-based political parties. That only two-party system can work in Malaysia. The second thing on Perlis and also Terengganu, I think we have three major things that actually you see now. One is definitely the royalty in these two states are not too happy with things that are going on. That's why they are endorsing Isa instead of Shahidan. Shahidan is known to be very problematic, and prior to the election campaign, you know that we actually thought Perlis might fall by looking at the situation in Arau and surrounding it. In fact, they won Arau with a very thin majority of 160 votes. The second one is definitely you can sense a factional struggle within UMNO over unhappiness again of certain camps, especially in Terengganu. You know, people say that Pulau Buyong is actually more or less pawned away to Patrick Badawi, it's a saying like that. So you can find that this is actually a recurrence of the struggle within UMNO. So I think there's two main reasons, and of course the final one that culminates all that is the unhappiness of the Badawi administration. So I think that hopes I answer your point.
Okay, Mr. Koo, thank you very much. Farish? You wanted to respond?
Just to follow up to that, but also to address the points that you raised earlier. The question of is the BN dead? Well, I think, again, when you talk about, let's be adults, yeah, we are adults here, and I think we've reached the point of adult mature politics. Children can believe in, Dracula, Transformers, and all these other sorts of things, but we cannot. We are an adult nation now. Being an adult nation means that we have to imagine possibilities which we did not imagine before. So, as to the question of, can we imagine a BN dead? I think we should be able to imagine, brave enough to imagine, a BN in opposition. A BN that's defeated. And that is a contingency, that is a reality. It may happen. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a defeated UMNO? What is wrong with a defeated Barisan Nasional? As long as the culture of politics that we Malaysians set is one which puts all these parties into account. Malaysia, for such a long time, we've been told, and this is particularly a message that has been sent to the Malay Malaysians, that if UMNO was defeated, then the Malays are wiped out. And this is clearly not the case. We have to be brave enough to imagine the possibility that one day UMNO will not be a party in power. But the Malays are not going to be wiped out as a result. Malaysia will still remain on the map. Malaysia will still remain on the map. And this is the leap that we need to make. Now, this is not just wishful thinking. This is not wishful thinking. Because I think what we're witnessing today is a real rupture, an internal differentiation within Malaysian polity and society, which demands a different type of politics. We can no longer base our politics on the notion that there are three homogeneous blocks, Malays, Chinese, Indians. It doesn't exist. All the election results, particularly the last election result, demonstrate the fact that the Malays are not homogeneous. This notion of taat setia, absolute loyalty to one party, is being questioned by the Malays themselves as a result of very real socio-economic demographic changes in Malay society. So, ranging from Malays who support PAS, Malays who are in PAS who will support DAP, to the Mat Rempit phenomenon, the whole of Malay society is actually fragmenting into many different societies. And this is also true of the Indians and the Chinese. So we cannot, India's talked about a new language of politics. Perhaps, really, we've come to the point where we can imagine a new Malaysian politics where we don't even talk in terms of race identity. And this is not wishful thinking, I will emphasize again and again. This is something that we are seeing on the ground right now. So part and parcel of this new Malaysian politics that we need to envisage is one which takes into account these realities and then poses serious questions to these outdated institutions. So I go back to the question on Perak. Let's imagine if every single DUN seat in Perak was won by a non-Malay. Now we've been faced with the dilemma now, and for me that is an opening to question something. A constitutional provision laid down in 1957 which may not be relevant anymore today. So let us be brave enough to accept this.
Thank you very much. The key word is to be brave in a brave new world. Now let me go back. I see about 10. Now I think we'll do that. Let's go back to the question.
Yeah. Media question.
Yeah, anybody has another question?
Can I start now?
Go ahead.
Since anything is, my name is Sakina Joseph and I am from Relations for World Peace. Since anything is possible these days, I'd like to pose my question to the lawyer, Mr. Imtiaz Malik. Can it, and if not, why not, the constitution of the state government of Iraq be changed through the right channels, of course, to solve the debacle of the military missile issue? To put to rest this very insane and nasty experience that is being carried out in Perak.
Okay, thanks. I'll take a few more questions and then we'll go to
Good morning. I'd like to ask a question to the panel, in particular to Chaitan Ahmad.
Name, please.
Sorry?
Name.
David Sani. I just want to ask, in light, I mean, we know that the press has always been, you talk about the media, and the press has always been part and parcel of the divisiveness in our society and our country. But what I'd like to ask is this, I mean, we all don't read the same newspapers, and we read it in the language that we prefer, we understand. Seeing in the last week, for example, the recent events, the glitches and the stumbling blocks, whether it's in Iraq, in Islam, or the rumors I hear, I'd like to ask you actually, how do we overcome, when I, in the last few, for example, the headlines for Utusan would be DAP Biadab. And much of the rural population don't or have very little access to the internet. Correct me if I'm wrong. So therefore, my main question is, a lot of these issues are central always surrounded is Malay issues. I can put that in inverted commas. Whether it's the MB in Iraq and so on and so forth. How would you propose and how would the opposition have to deal with a government-controlled press, and particularly the Malay press, who have no other access to information? At least we know, for example, I mean, I don't know whether this is true or not, but I was told by a friend of mine who was in fact sitting here, that in the Star, for example, and that's indicative in their writing, also you can understand their position or know their position. In the Star, apparently, every time there's a So I just want to ask, how would they, is there any ideas?
We understand. Thank you very much. Now we have had a question of the press, maybe at this stage, you want to respond?
All right. As you all probably know, there are 20 to 30 laws that impinge on the free working of the Malaysian press. And of course, there are more frightening laws like the Official Secrets Act and the Printing Presses Act, And you can be questioned. That's why I think if you print something, the printer is responsible, you are also responsible. And the Official Secrets Act, how draconian the Official Secrets Act is like, for instance, if a reporter asks a government servant about some information, asking for some information, and the information is in a sensitive area, the official can report this, and the reporter will be in trouble. So it is very frightening. And I think you must appreciate how difficult it is to operate with that kind of law in existence. And I think there will be no change, because besides all these laws, there are also the ownership, like the Utusan, it is owned by UMNO. Then you have the New Straits Times and even TV3 and other TV stations. They are owned by this Media Prima Group, which are very pro-government, or owned by the UMNO. And then you have the Star, which is affiliated to the certain business organization under the MTA. And of course, the Indian papers are all loyal to this leader or loyal to that leader, And